93. This is Amon Asherenew from Asherenew.com. Once again, now we will speak on why hip hop went into the underworld, the science of drill music. Now, like if you ask my personal opinion, it's like all I really listen to is drill at this point. It's been that way for a little minute now. I don't even listen to other genres of hip hop. I'm not listening to conscious music. I'm not listening to really much of anything other than drill. But let me explain why. Why has hip hop went into the underworld? Why is drill music so dominant? And I'm doing this to hopefully help people to understand why these dynamics occur, right? And taking out the judgment. What's up, Tech Mez? 93, 93, 93. All right? So I'm doing this to hopefully help people to understand why this music genre is dominant. Is it really just about a bunch of murder and killing? Or is this a deeper dynamic occurring? Because hip hop has entered into the underworld. Hip hop is in the clip off. Right, so we had a little inkling of that, with the gangster rap of the 90s. But this drill shit it's a whole different beast. Why? We must go into the science of the vampire. Because drill music, you can say, blew up not just in the UK, but also in Brooklyn, right? A lot of people say hip hop actually started in Brooklyn. Some people also say Queens. Because, the mainstream story is, hip hop started in the Bronx, with the jams, DJ Kool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, so on and so forth. But you have an alternative perspective that say hip hop was already in Brooklyn. Hip hop was already in Queens. So we deal with the energy of Brooklyn. These are the vampires. We have to go into the science of the vampire. We find the vampire, and guess what? The clip off. That's where we find the vampires. That's where we find the incubus. That's where we find the succubus. That's where we find the ghouls, the goblins, and all that. All that is found in the paths of the clip off. And if hip hop is truly universal as it says it is, hip hop must also embody the underworld. Hip hop is not limited to the light. Hip hop is not limited to the Kabbalah. Hip hop is not limited to the angels. That's why everybody was on demon time. We call ourselves demons. Because hip hop is all encompassing. To truly understand it, you must go into the underworld. Now, that doesn't mean you have to pick up a gun and harm anybody. But you must embody the energy of the vampire. But when we talk about vampires, people speak about, like energy vampires. People absorbing your energy. But if you know better, because I made a video about Pambagura on my website. I spoke about the science of Pambagura and that vampire magic. So you can say drill represents vampire magic. There's no coincidence why they made a movie called The Brooklyn Vampire. I believe that was with Eddie Murphy. And if you remember that movie, he was able to cast illusions and spells. He basically took like a trap or like a empty apartment, full of no life. And he was actually able to turn it into a luxurious apartment with hot tubs and all type of shit, for those who remember the movie. This represents vampire magic. That's essentially why people are drilling in the first place. So yes, they're trying to absorb the energy of their enemies. And again, we also see this again, we had remnants of this with the whole gangster rap and the gang culture of the West Coast. So now that we move into the 2020s, with the Pop Smokes, the Chef G's, right? Now they are embodying a different level of the vampire magic because you see the music is a lot more quicker in terms of the lyrics and It's also faster, a faster BPM. You could say it started with Bobby Shmurda, right? You could say that was probably the first New York drill rapper. That's when it made the transition. That's why they had to get him out of here. But think about it. He also had to do, and also Rowdy Rebel with that computer song, right? For those who know. And both of them had to do what? They both had to do 7 years in prison. And we know that 7 takes us to Neptune, which is a planet of chaos, the planet of the underworld. So that was no coincidence. So the one who initiated the drill rap in New York, you see, he had to be taken off of the scene. And then it took on a life of its own. With the Hot Nigga song. The Hot Nigga song was ridiculous for those who know. Go back to 2014, that Hot Nigga song, ridiculous. Hundreds of millions of views on YouTube right now. It took over not just the city, but the world. Everybody was doing that gangster dance. I think the Smoney dance or the Smurder dance, I think it was the Smurder dance. You got everybody doing that shit. Because they said when you make the gangsters dance, you got your own or something now. So what do they do with drill? You see they dancing with the drill, ain't they? You know what I mean? Just look at the Pop Smoke, right? They dancing now. The gangsters are dancing. It's just that. So that's an element of drill music which you didn't see in gangster rap. You didn't see a lot of dancing gangsters in gangster rap of the 90s. So that's what I mean by they took it to another level, because now they're dancing, right? Doing all type of moves and it's looking flashy. Like it's very beautiful to look at. I ain't gonna lie. But again, let's understand what's really occurring on a magical level. Again, this is the magic of the vampires, right? So not only did they have to raise the BPM, now they had to dance. And when you dance, it raises up your kundalini. So not only are you raising the BPM, which is raising the consciousness, now it helps you to get in tune with what's going on right now. What do I mean? A lot of older people can't even keep up with drill rap because they're rapping too fast. Right? A lot of older people, like even if they enjoy gangster rap, see, gangster rap was a lot slower because it came from the West Coast. You know what I mean? So there was a lot more cool, calm, and collected, and a lot more smooth. But now you see it's chaotic. Listen to that drill, it's like chaotic. Motherfuckers just rapping at hyper speed. It seems chaotic. It's like Neptunian because again, this is coming from the clip off. This is a rise off the clip off because this is the energy that we are currently in. And again, so that's why we're speaking about World War III. That's why we're having these conflicts in Ukraine, Taiwan. We are currently navigating ourselves through the clip off. And this is how it is playing out on the world stage. So that's why we see all these world dynamics. This is why we're seeing so much uncertainty in the world. Because the world don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we wasn't always in that state. Soon as Joe Biden became president and he made with those 22 executive orders or that 21 executive orders, now the world is in a bunch of uncertainty. But that's the whole essence of the clip off, uncertainty, because that's the energy of chaos. That's the Neptunian current. That's us dealing with our shadow. That's us dealing with our unconscious mind. That's the beast within. So the drill rap represents manifesting the beast within, manifesting your unconscious mind on the physical plane. So now we're moving beyond the subconscious. We're going into the unconscious. We're going into the underworld. We're going into the depths. We're going into the deep. We have to go through the veil of Thoth. So if you know about the Kabbalah, you know about Thoth, which is the hidden Sephira. The hidden Sephira is Thoth. And Thoth is another way of saying death. It is the death state. That's why they rap about what? Death. See, on the surface, it's just a bunch of killing and murder. But once you look at the science, it's the science of Thoth and going into the underworld. And this is where you meet those vampires. This is where you meet those incubus and the succubus. which help to cultivate your sexual currency. As you know, we were speaking about that the day before yesterday. How the incubus and the succubus cultivate your sexuality, not just your sexuality, your sexual currency. Because they fulfill those sexual fantasies that you have within your mind that you may not be able to manifest with another human being because it may be a little bit too radical, right? So of course the music seems a lot radical. You know, they're finding creative ways to describe death or doff. So when we listen to the sounds, when we listen to the vibrations, especially because it came from the UK, the reason why that's important because the UK had the Black Death, right, or the Black Plague. For those who know, 1,000 years ago, they had the Black Plague, which wiped out half of the population. Half of the population was wiped off in the year like 1000 because of the Black Plague. So just imagine half of the population just gets wiped off. So that's essentially why the UK is the way it is now. They're still experiencing. That's why when you go to the UK, it's like, you know, it's very medieval. You know what I mean? It's very medieval. Like if you look at the weather and all that, like the atmosphere is very medieval. It's because of the remnants of that energy. That energy still plays a part in today's times. That's why the drill came from the UK in terms of the beats. Then you can say Pop Smoke brought it to New York, brought it to Brooklyn. And that's when it blew up the way it did. Of course, you know, you can say people were already doing it, but that's when it blew up. That's when it got popular. Because he had that voice. He brought the voice to it. Of course, you could say people were already doing it, but he brought that unique voice to it. That's why they had to remove him out of the equation. Because not only did he bring that unique voice, again, they were dancing, right? They call it the woo walk. Now they woo walking, right? And rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Rest in peace to T Dot. Woo walking, you know, for those who understand the culture. That's why they are removing these people off of the board. Because if you're able to tap into that vampire magic, you see, this is what puts you on a whole different plane of existence. Where you're not afraid to explore the undercurrents or the underworld. Because you can say we are all vampires within, but it represents your unconscious mind. So you can say the beast within, that beast within represents a vampire. That takes you into the mysteries of Dracula. Because remember, Dracula has to be invited in. Dracula isn't just terrorizing people. Dracula has to be let in willfully. So the vampire has to be let in willfully. This isn't something that's just coming in by force. See, that's the most important element of this. This is not something that is happening by force. This is something you have to allow willingly, which is why most people don't understand it because they are not allowing it into the consciousness willingly. A lot of people don't like drill music. It's too violent. It's too fast. They don't understand it because it's so coded. They don't understand the codes. What I mean by that is if you are not into the culture, you really don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they're speaking in code, right? So it's like if you are not a part of the culture, you can't even follow along. Like, yo, you're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's like every other line, you're like, yo, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? They're not just using regular English. They're using, you can say, Ebonics. They're using street language. They're speaking in code. They're speaking in terms that the mainstream simply does not understand. Because you see, they're updating their vocabulary daily. So that's why, especially again, you listen to some New York drill. You tell me if you understand everything they say. And if you understand everything they say, it's because you are a part of the culture. You are in tune. But if you are not in tune, it's like it's hard to understand what's being said, not because of the speed, just because of the lingo. Excuse me, the lingo. So the lingo is updated through the music. So a lot of people are just not in tune. They listen to it, they can enjoy it, but if you really ask them, what are they talking about? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? They probably couldn't tell you. They just enjoy the music from afar. They're not understanding it from the 0 point consciousness. You must understand this from a 0 point consciousness. In order to understand it from a 0 point consciousness, you have to embody your vampire within. We are all vampires within. That's just your unconscious mind. So if you embody your unconscious mind, that is you embodying your vampire so that you can understand, excuse me, how to navigate the clip off, which represents the underworld. The clip off has 22 paths, just like the Kabbalah has 22 paths. But you have different rulers of these 22 paths. And they're not called Sephra, not they're called Klippa, right? The clip off spear of the vampires is called Gamaliel, right? The vampires are in all of the paths of the clip off. But yes, if you say what is the main current, you can say yeah, if it's between Lilith and Gamaliel, that path, sure, which is the dark side of Tav, which is the 32nd path, the 32nd path, for those who want to be technical. So yes, you find them mainly in that path between the earth and the moon. So as you are navigating through, yes, you will encounter vampires. Again, for those who have no fear, there is nothing to fear because all you're doing is encountering yourself. All you're doing is running into yourself. It's just a part of you that is unaccepted. It's a part of you that you don't accept. That's all. We are all beasts within, meaning we all have the ability to kill. We all have the ability to be savage. We all are drillers within. You just have to be backed into a corner to realize what you are. That's all. You can kill too. You may not be thinking about death. You may not be looking for your ops. You may not be op shopping. But if your back is pushed against a wall, you're going to make sure you do what you need to do to preserve your life like anybody else would. Right? So the only difference is with the drill, they just push it to the forefront. They push it to the conscious mind. They are taking clip-offic vampiric energies and bringing it up to the surface because hip-hop is universal. Hip-hop needs to embody both sides. That's what makes it the most authentic music. Even though you can say, country music and rock and roll, they've been talking about, demonic stuff and demon stuff. But it never got as big as hip hop did because hip hop is more creative because of the lyrics. That's the difference between the rock and the country. Those, you can say the lyrics are simplified. Rock has simple lyrics, country has simple lyrics. But when it comes to hip hop, you see the goal is to be as lyrical as you possibly can. That's what makes it different than the other genres of music because of the lyricism. And that's why I say most people can't even keep up or understand because the lyrics are advanced. So yeah, they may be talking about death, it may be violent lyrics, but you cannot sleep on the lyricism. It is advanced. That's the catch-22. So if you're able to look past the obvious, because most people can't look past the obvious. They don't want to, they level that music is negative. You damn right it's negative. It is clip-offic. But hip-hop had to enter into the clip-off to advance itself. So you can say they are the most advanced lyricists in hip-hop. Not the conscious rappers. The drill rappers. They are the most lyrical rappers on the planet right now. That UK drill shit, that New York drill shit, that Chicago drill shit, they are the most lyrical. That's why so many people love King Von. That's why so many people love FBG Duck, FBG Cash. Right? That's why so many people, Pop Smoke. That's why so many people love these because the lyrics is advanced. You can't take that away. Like, yo, these motherfuckers are saying some incredible lines. This is the most advanced hip hop we have. Now, yes, hip hop has always been lyrical, but not like this. This is a clip-offic lyrical. So yes, hip hop has always been lyrical in terms of the Kabbalah. Like a Rakim, a Big Daddy Kane. You can say even a Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. Yes, these are all lyricists not taking anything away from them, but they operate from the Kabbalah. They're not operating from the clip-off. So when you begin to operate from the clip-off, you see it gets even more advanced. You wouldn't even think like, damn, how can you be so creative talking about death? Because this represents a whole universe. That's just the surface. knock off most people's consciousness. That's all they hear is death. They're not looking at the lyricism because they're not lyricists. They're not a part of the hip hop culture. If you are a part of the hip hop culture, you love lyrics. And anybody who was advancing the lyricism of the culture, you like, damn. So you cannot say that they have not advanced the lyricism of the culture, even if you don't agree with what they're speaking about. But again, that's why you have people like me, right? That's why you see I even rap over drill music. That's why my song Deja Vu, that's a drill beat. But I'm not necessarily talking about death. It's more lyrical. I'm talking about all type of clip-offic shit, right? Exactly. So that's essentially, so that's why I'm speaking about this, because I have already shown, like, okay, this is clip-offic, right? Yo, man, what do you think about drill? Is it new school already? It is the most advanced lyrics on the planet. That's what the drill rap is. It is the most advanced lyrics. I would dare you to find something more lyrical than what these drill rappers are doing, especially in Brooklyn, especially in the UK. You're not going to find somebody with more lyrical content. And the reason why it's so devilish and demonic, and again, everybody's on demon time, because that's just letting you know where they are. They are traveling through the clip off. And because I have also traveled through the clip off, that's why I was able to hop on a drill beat and make the song Deja Vu, talking about what clip offic activity. So I'm not necessarily speaking about violence, but I'm speaking about clip offic activity. Wearing that ring of the genie, surrounded by cloaks you can't see thee, that 93, my philosophy, those inner stars of geography. I'm invoking them sacred names, level my mental inverting planes, right? So on and so forth, right? So it's clip-offic. I'm not speaking about violence, but like, yo, once you hear what I'm saying, like, yeah, that's clip-offic as fuck. It ain't nothing nice about it because that's the clip-off. So that's why I was able to do what I wanted to do with it, because I'm like, I understand what's going on here. All I did was flip it, put a little Vegas twist on it, right? But had I not been traveling the clip off, I couldn't do it. Most rappers can't even rap over drill beats. Most rappers, and again, they may speak about violence, but they're not able to make it into their own. So that's why I did it. I'm like, let me show it. If I consider myself hip hop, I should be able to do it, and that's why I demonstrated how to do it. This is how you can take a drill beat and still be dangerous and ruthless, but you're not necessarily speaking about killing nobody. But I will kill the beat because, again, this is clip-offic. So if I'm speaking about the clip-off, which I have been talking about, I should be able to do it, and that's why I demonstrated that this is possible, right? I should just play that in the background, right? I might as well just fucking play the drill beat. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me just go on and play this shit. I got it right on the phone. Let's see, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Just for those who don't understand what I'm talking about here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go right here. So I'll just play it. Just so you know. So now I'm giving you the reason as to why I did it and why I wanted to take it to the highest chambers. Because again, I'm always speaking about spiritual rank, right? So if I'm speaking about spiritual rank, I had to demonstrate my rank. So my rank is I can take this drill music and then put the knowledge with it, which we don't see too much of that. I haven't seen nobody else do that shit, honestly. I'm not saying nobody has it, but no, I'm not seeing knowledge with it. But again, it ain't for anybody else to do. It was for me to do. So it wasn't for me to wait for someone else to do it. It was for me to do it when I decided to do it, right? All right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So, Deja Vu, right? Like the whole song is clip-offic. It ain't nothing nice about it, but again, I got it right here. Give me a second. Let me see. And again, this is playing from the phone, so of course it's not going to be. Let me see. I'm just going to play the first verse. We don't have to listen to this whole thing. But just to give an example, it's a drill beat. But it's just, got the biggest flow. See, nah, I dare anybody to even, well, what the fuck is he even talk about? The average person don't even know even before the beat drops, they don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know my city atomic, we radiate them comets, make the lyrics go supersonic, straight to the earth, called it plate tectonics. Oh no, shift of the earth, called it plate tectonics. Anyway, you can say, oh yeah, that's scientific. Griffin and serpent, typhonic. The average person don't even know what the fuck that is. Griffin and serpent, typhonic. Man, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, if you're not in the clip off, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It makes no sense to you. But if you are traveling the clip off, like, oh shit, the griffin and the serpent, the typhoon. So it's typhonic. Anyway, I'm just introducing new words. You're not hearing stuff like that in the average hip hop song. You're not hearing that on this average hip hop average rapper. They're not saying stuff like that. Because they're again, it's about spiritual rank. You can only speak about what you know. So I know a bunch of clip offic shit, so of course I'm gonna speak about clip offic shit. Right? So again, I'm just using my own song as an example. So just to give some clarification, like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? So I don't have to use nobody else's music. I can just go to my own music and just demonstrate what I did. Hip hop is in the underworld. That's why I make the underworld music. That's why I'm making this type of music. Because I understand this is the direction that hip hop is going. It is moving in the realm of the vampire. So I had to bring out my inner vampire. That's why I called it deja vu, which is like an illusion. That's the energy of the clip off. It's very elusive, meaning you gotta really know what's going on to even catch what's being said. You gotta know what's really going on to catch what's being said. All right, let me see. All right, watch as I cast this juju. The whole song it's violent as fuck. It's just not. I'm not talking about. I guess I am talking about death. I guess I am talking about killing shit. I'm just not talking about with weapons. I'm not talking about guns, but I guess I am talking about violence and killing. It is satanic. It is demonic, technically. Like if a Christian hears that, they're not gonna call that conscious rap. Like yo, that ain't. Yeah, you got knowledge. That ain't conscious though. That's clip-offic. If they even know what that word means. But how many people do? But again, that's why I'm like, so many people, we're so cut off from those worlds, we don't even know how to deal with it. Soon as you say devil, soon as you say Satan, soon as you say demon, motherfuckers is turning that shit off. So that's why I say, yeah, this shit is satanic. To a Christian, it is satanic. To somebody who's religious, that shit is satanic. All right? Don't let me talk about wearing no ring of the genie. They don't want to hear nothing about no genie. Surrounded by cloaks, you can't see thee. You can't even see me. That 93 mile philosophy. If you don't know about 93, like, oh, what does that mean? So you see, that's what I'm just using my own music as an example of. If you don't know, it's just going to go right over your head. It's like I'm saying a lot, but if you don't understand what's being said, it's going to go right over your head. I'm invoking those sacred flames. I'm invoking flames. I'm invoking the hellfire. The clip off, I'm invoking those sacred flames. Level my mental reversing planes. I'm on the reverse plane, the clip offic plane. fuck all that clout and fame. So I'm not talking about the light. That's the light. The people that seek the clout, the people that seek the flame, those are beings of the light. But I'm saying fuck that. The Kiyama, I set the whole world aflame. The Kiyama is the end of the world. The world will end by fire, according to the Quran. So now I'm talking about I'm going to initiate the Kiyama. I'm going to initiate the end of the world. So you see, it ain't nothing nice about those lyrics at all. Just like there's nothing nice about those drill lyrics at all. But you see, it's fucking advanced. It's so intricate, it's so deep that again, if you don't know what's going on, it's just going to go over your head. You're not going to get it. It's not going to make no sense. Like that's just how you can say concentrated the knowledge is. True knowledge is so concentrated, it'll go right over your head. That's why most secrets remain secret, because a person can tell you a secret and you not even know it's a secret because it's so cloaked. It's so veiled that you don't even, it goes just right over your head. It don't even register to you. So a lot of what I said, it doesn't even register to the average person. Because they may hear it, it may sound nice, but if you ask, well, what is he talking about? They can't explain that shit to you unless you know a little something about the clip-off. If you don't know a little something about the clip-off, you couldn't even explain it. Well, what is he talking about? What does that line mean? What does that line mean? The average person don't know. It's not that I'm talking some extra secretive knowledge, but again, if you're not in tune with the culture, then you're not going to understand what I'm talking about anyway. Just like you're not going to understand what they're talking about, right? So again, I'm just giving an example of my own song. And again, I don't have to reference nobody else's song. I already did it, right? And I will continue to do it, right? Let's see. I'm just pointing out certain lyrics. Again, we don't have to point out every single line. I'm just pointing out certain lyrics. Started with the demons like Rahu. If you don't know the story of Rahu, it's going to go over your head, right? So it's like I'm saying a lot in a little time, but I'm doing it for those who are traveling within the clip-off because it helps you to go deeper, because you are going beyond the veil, which is the whole purpose of me making the music. This helps you explore the clip-off. This helps you go beyond the veil. This is something that you're not going to hear on the mainstream. This is something that you're not going to hear on the radio, but this is real hip-hop. You can't say it's not. This is as real as it's going to get. Hip-hop is in the underworld. This is as real as you're not going to get no realer than this. It's just not going to get any realer. Spirit of the left, Ishu. If you don't know about Ishu, who's technically considered Satan. Ishu is considered Satan. Spirit of the left-hand path, right? You see it's all there. I put it all there. But you see, it just goes over the average person's head as it should. Because it was not for the average person. I didn't make this for the mainstream. It's not for the average person. It's supposed to go over their heads, right? All right. Jesus Christ is Lord. The Lord sent us down here to interpret and deliver the truth. Respect all cultures that glorifies God's kingdom. There really be secret messages and curses in the song. Give me an example of that. Give me an example of a curse in a hip-hop song. Because I want to know. You know what I mean? Give me an example of that. All right? I agree with what you're saying. Well, give me an example of a curse in a song. All right? Because I see what you're saying, but I want you to prove that. I see what you're saying, but can you prove it? Give me a live example. Let me know a song. I can pull the song up right now. And bring me an example. We will pull it up right now, and we will listen to what you're saying. Speaking negatively could be a curse, don't you think? Well, what's negative? What is negative energy? See, let's get technical and scientific, because you see, now you're trying to take this into the religious world. Without negative energy, there is no life. Without the clip-off, there is no life, because the clip-off represents the first creation. If you remove the clip-off, there is no life. If you remove death, there is no life. There is no life without death. So when you say speaking negatively, if a person speaking about death is a reality of life, you cannot remove death from life. So speaking about death isn't negative because it's necessary. And negative energy is necessary too. These are parts of life, but you're calling it curses. Well, try to remove death. You can't do it. Try to remove negative energy. Every atom has a negative charge. All I'm saying is we are in the negative charge. We have already charged hip hop with the positive current. We already have conscious rap. But that's just one part of the atom. All atoms have a negative charge. That's all I'm saying. Right? So that's why I say give an example, show and prove. Because I'm showing and proving. I'm showing and proving. So even if you say that, I made a song that you can't say that about. Because I'm not talking about killing nobody in my song, which is technically demonic because I'm talking about things of the clip off. But I'm not speaking about harming nobody. But I am speaking about knowledge that most people don't understand and will never understand. So that's all I'm saying. You see, we can take it anywhere we want to take it. You see, I'm always willing to show and prove. That's why I had to make my own song. I don't have to just depend on somebody else's song. I made my own drill song. Right? Show and prove. I'm waiting for you to give an example. You said music has curses. Give me the name of a song so that we can pull it up right now and you can show and prove what you're talking about. Right? I came in late, didn't know you were talking about your song, my bad. Well, I'm talking about the drill culture as a whole. I'm using my song as an example. But name any song. You know what I mean? We don't have to limit it to my song. Name any song. Because you said people are putting curses in music. And I'm like, well, show and prove that. Show and prove the curses within the music. Because you said it. And I'm like, okay, well, let's demonstrate it. I can pull up any song that you name right now. That's all I'm saying. All right? That's all. Because I'm going to defend hip hop. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't give a fuck how negative it is. I will defend it and I will make it make sense. I am a part of the culture, so I'm going to claim the entire culture. I'm not going to call myself hip hop, but say fuck drill rap. I'm not that type of person. I will claim the entire culture, the positive and the negative, and show and prove the reality of it. That's why, again, I did my own song to show and prove, okay, we hear what the mainstream is doing with drill, but this is what drill is really about. It's really about those clip-offic tones. But I had to show and prove that, and I'm willing to continue to show and prove it, right? So all I'm asking you to do is show and prove, just like I'm showing and proving. Where is your track at, right? Where is your music at? I want to hear, what do you have? What is your message? All right, where is your music? I'll pull it up right now, right? Since you're talking shit, where's your music? Let's hear about what's your message in your music. Let's pull up your music. Right? And we're going to see. We're going to see what you know based off of your music, since you are commenting about music, because you should be putting out the opposite. If you feel this negative, well, where's your positive music? Where's your conscious rap? Right? And I'll pull it up right now. Give me the link, I'll pull it up, or tell me the name of the song. We'll pull up your music right now. We'll listen to it and we'll see where you stand. Let's look at your lyricism. Let's see how advanced you are. In a positive light, though, according to you. We will pull it up right now and we'll judge it right now. Since the music is too negative, if it's too cursed for you, if it's too demonic for you, well, show us what them angels got. Show us that angelic music. Show us what them angels can do. All right? All I'm asking you to do is show and prove. Since you want to make comments about it, let's see what you can do. Because if you're just commenting on something that you're not even a part of, what are you doing? If you don't even consider yourself hip-hop, then because you're not making the music, then what are you doing? Why are you commenting on something that you can't even produce yourself? You can't even produce the opposite. Since this is too much for you, let's see what you can do. That's all I'm asking. Now, in the meantime, let's go back to that conjure man in hoodoo. So that's not just a term that I made up. The conjure man is an actual title. right? That's an actual title. That ain't something I just made up. So I'm putting reality in my music. I'm not just making shit up. But again, it will go over the average person's head if they don't know better. They think they know something, but that's why you need people like me to show and prove. Like, oh, you think you know something, but if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, then what do you really know? Because that means you're limiting yourself. Your knowledge is limited because you are afraid to go amongst those vampires. We will never catch your ass in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? You're too afraid, right? Anyway, so let's continue. Right? Then I say, the Bawoon from the tomb. All this darkness I consume. So now I'm hitting you with French. I didn't say Baron. I said the Bawoon because that's how they pronounce it. They don't say the Baron. They don't say Baron Sami. They say Bawoon. So now I'm hitting you with the French. That's just how it's properly said. The Bawoon from the tomb. All this darkness I consume. So now I'm talking about consuming darkness. I didn't say become dark. I said I'm consuming it. I'm eating it like a vampire. I'm eating darkness. I'm eating these clip-off forces. They are becoming a part of me. I am the clip-off. I am the dark. Instead of I'm in darkness, I am the dark. Darkness is me. There is no separation. Right? Interference can call on Zoom. So now it's like I'm interfering with technology because, we start having issues with our technology. It's always a reason for that. Cyber attacks, cyber warfare. I'm talking about cyber warfare, right? Which we're going through currently right now. Cyber warfare, right? A bunch of hackers. So I'm basically considering myself a hacker. I can hack into your Zoom calls, which basically that's what they accuse China of doing anyway, right? What's up, Matthew? Designer mind, I am Khnum, which is a Kemetic deity. Who was designer? The Kemetic designer, right? But I'm just making that shit up, right? You feel like you miss some heat? Nah, you can always replay it, you know. Whatever you miss, you can always replay it. So you technically didn't miss anything. You can just hit the replay button, all right? Working those scales, holy as hell. See, like this is it's funny because I know that's a contradiction, right? How can you be holy as hell? But that's why I say I'm working the scales, the right and left hand. So that means I got some holiness within me, but I also got some hellish energy about myself as well. That's why I'm working both sides of the scale, both paths, the right and left hand path. But you see, I've already laid this down, right? But again, you see, it's a little too clip-offic for the average person. I repel psychic spells. So that means psychic. Now I'm talking. I went from talking about cyber warfare to psychic warfare, right? Dream attacks. Because where do you find in the dream world? Vampires. So all the people that feel like they're being attacked psychically, that's why they call them the energy vampires. So what I'm saying is I repel that. I repel those psychic attacks, right? Because I'm on both sides. So I'm not just completely dark. I know how to tap into the light as well to repel any type of negativity or positive energy that's trying to fuck some shit up. Again, I've laid all this down, right? Swinging those bells, throwing those shells. Now I'm talking about divination. Because that's what they do. They cast stones, right? So I'm talking about divination. But you see, the average person, again, just giving an example of what I did. Fuck what anybody else did. This is what I did, and this is the knowledge I laid down long ago, right? And again, we ain't even got to go one or two more lines. My point is made. It's Klephothic where I dwell. So I said it. It's Klephothic where I dwell. I ain't saying no more. We ain't even got to go into the verse. I proved my point. I proved my point. Right? So that's all. Got motherfuckers trying to come in here talking about their spells and music. I'm gonna always protect hip hop. So anybody who come in here, you know, trying to come with a whole different energy, see, I shut that shit down. Because don't come in here disrespecting the culture. And you are not even a part of the culture. And you can't even show forth what you have done. But you talking about what somebody else has done. Right? So that's all I'm saying. My point is made. We shut that shit down and anything else. Knowledge reigns supreme. And with that, I bear peace. I'm going to be coming right back up. Last video. 93, 93, 93.